You will definitely love this mood-changing rainbow nail art in this video coming up. Hello guys, Anastasia here. We have acrylic nails. It's been about 4.5 weeks and it is time to do an infill. And I usually start by filing them shorter because my client wants to have the same length as she had before, which means I need to file about this amount. I'm using carbide bead with blue abrasive mark. When you're filing nails, whether for removal or simply making them shorter, I recommend to use a high speed, around 20,000 rotations per minute. Next step will be filing the nail underneath. Since we made them shorter, I also want to make them a little bit thinner, and it is better to do it underneath. Also, using the same bit, I can carefully shorten the outgrown free edge of the natural nail.
Eyes glow like two fires, movement so graceful. Wildcat in the jungle with dangerous claws. Movement she anticipates, a sight is set on her prey. Like stars in the darkest night, crystallize, fascinate. If you wanna stay alive, if you don't wanna be her prey, don't stand in her way. Run, run, run away.
You can use this kind of carbide bead. This one is more narrow and also it has red abrasive mark, which is medium fine, so I can get a little deeper and file natural nail even shorter, so now we do not have to worry about product lifting. After that, I will go back to the cone-shaped bit and I will file off the color from the top. And by the way, I have a video with this nail art which was inspired by designer on Paris Fashion Week show. I will leave the link down below. There is a product lifting on one nail. I think that you can clearly see it. It's on the left side, and this white bubble is the product that is lifted. And if you want to do an infill, you definitely need to file it off, and now I will show you how. I always start filing areas that are surrounded by this infill because once you make them really thin, the lifted part will fall off by itself. If you're using some dark nude color, you may not notice it, so if you have doubts, it is better to file the product thinner, and once it gets thinner you can see it better and you will notice the product lifting. Alright, product lifting, now you have to surrender because we surrounded you, and yes, at this point it will simply fall off. Let's take a look at this in a slow motion again, because I know that you guys like this part, and actually I started enjoying it as well. Then I will push back the cuticles with orange wood stick on all nails. Be careful, do not push too much, our goal is just to slightly push it up. And then I'm going to do Cuticle Care with diamond bit. This one is usually called flame bit because the shape reminds you of the flame. Even though its abrasive is rather soft, it's medium fine, we still are not allowed to touch the nail plate a lot, so I recommend you to avoid that and focus on pushing back the cuticle and the sidewalls.
Waking up anew, wasting time is all I do. Nothing to do. I'm dropping you texts now. You said you want me when it's that.
After that, I will apply dehydrator and non-acid primer only on the area where we have natural nail. After applying dehydrator, make sure that it fully dries. But once you apply a non-acid primer, you can start working right away. I will be doing acrylic infill since the original product was here acrylic as well. First, I need to fill in the area where the product lifting was, so I will take the bead and will slightly blend it towards the cuticle and to the sides. I will use semi-transparent pink color near the cuticle because it usually adheres better, and if your client has experiencing product lifting from time to time only on a certain nail, I definitely recommend switching to clear or semi-transparent pink product. After that, I'm going to file the nails. One of my favorite files is definitely Endurance by NSI. This one is 180 grit. After filing and shaping, I also prefer to buff the nails because this is how you can get them perfectly smooth. You can also buff the free edge so the corners of the square shape will not bother the client. Now it's all clean, let's add some design. I will be using black color by Modelone's Black Lava, Topcoat to seal it all, and also Thermochromic Liquid by Azure. First, I will apply black color as the background. This color is really intense, so one coat will be enough. Cure 30 seconds in LED. We will also need a regular foam that you can get from soap. I will apply Topcoat on the top and without curing, apply foam right on the top. You need to be quick and then quickly cure it in LED for 30 seconds. After you cure, this is what we will have. The surface is not smooth anymore. We have some kind of bubbles. You've probably seen this bubble design before. Now make sure you clean it. You can use cleanse or alcohol to get rid of the soap residue. And now I'm going to apply this thermochromic liquid. The goal is to apply it super thin. I had some experience with working with similar product before, and my mistake was that first I tried to apply it very thick and it didn't really work as well. But once you apply it in a very thin coat, you will see. The result will be just awesome. So this liquid, it dries on the air, and if you will apply it like that, it will not take that long. It takes about 3 to 5 minutes, so while you're working with one nail, you just let it dry and then continue working with the other one. Once it's fully dry, this is where the magic begins. Just take a look at this. Beautiful deep blue, green, brown, and also some new colors will start to appear soon. But let's continue. I'm going to apply top coat to another one and then add some foam. With this design, it's simply not possible to achieve the same result every time. It will be different, and that's what's fun about it. For example, on this nail, I do not have bubbles covering the entire surface, but that's not a problem at all. You will see that in a minute. To achieve the best results, I strongly recommend applying this liquid in a very thin coat, and you also have to let it dry. Also, the size of the bubbles is always different. Sometimes they're big. For example, on this nail, they're pretty tiny, and at first I was like, oh man, it's not gonna work, but take a look at this. I mean, gorgeous, right? Now they look like a tiny foam bubbles. I even think that this one will be probably my favorite one. On pinky nail, those look a little bit different, which is fine as well, and this is how they look before applying the top coat. I actually like it like that as well. But we need to protect design, so I'm going to seal it with the top coat. You can use a very thin coat or you can add a little bit more to achieve a perfect smooth surface, and this is how it looks. When it's cold, these nails look just black or very dark deep blue, but once it gets hotter, the color starts shifting into pink, green, yellow, and all kinds of different colors. Basically, this design is a combination of a popular bubble design combined with thermal liquid. I am definitely happy with the result as well as my client. I will leave all the links down below to the products that I used. Thank you guys so much for watching. If this is your first time here on my channel, consider subscribing as I post new tutorials just like this one every week. And I will see you in my next one. Goodbye!
Sun is about to go down.